Hello, it's my chamber guide on Ascent. So this is actually the first video I ever did on this channel, for at least for Valorant guides. And I'm going to revisit it because it's a year old. Chamber's changed a lot. I've learned more about Chamber, and all the stuff we can do on him. And also he's just because he's changed, it makes a lot of sense for me to revisit. Because I'm sure there'll be people like revisiting that video, be like, "What is this? Like, he had two rendezvous at one point. Like, what is this?" Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm revisiting. So usually I'm going to place my rendezvous here. You can actually place it super far this way if you want to, like this, because you're still going to have enough space here. And this will allow you to take like a deeper angle here. So if they don't come B initially, you can sit here and you have like an off angle on rotation. There's no way people are going to be pre-aiming this angle. They're not going to be too aware of this angle unless you've done it multiple times. Then you're mostly going to get a free kill of people rotating from spawn. It's pretty good. You can also place it a bit further this way, a bit further to the left. It allows you to take more of a deeper off angle if you want to. If you want to do that, you can. You want to be on the off angle because they'll skip this like middle part of the wall. Because they'll do this and then they might do this, or they might do something like this. They'll actually skip you, essentially. And yeah, they're going to skip you, take a free kill on the off angle. When it comes to another safe one, more safe one you can do this one. You can't quite get the off angle as much, like as deep, with this one. But you can just like sit in like some other angles like this. This is a pretty good angle. You can do it with the other one as well, but this one makes more sense because you can't do this. This is actually a fine off angle as well, because I think a lot of people won't expect one to be in this sort of position. Chamber's really good at finding these off angles or getting these off angles and being safe while playing them. So yeah, rendezvous like that are pretty good. If you want to have like, you can also do another one. This is actually more of a post plant one I have for B on attack, but you can also do this one as well. You sit here. Generally it's worse versus lane than it is versus stairs, so generally I don't do it on defense, but it is a possibility. You just sit here and you can either hold lane or you can hold stairs. It's better against stairs, I think, because they generally skip you quite a lot. But on lane they don't really skip you as much, if that makes sense. Like that they sit here and then it's here and then it's going to be like around here. But the thing is like a lot of people will do this and then this, or not quite that. Jesus Christ, I haven't played in a week, so you have to forgive me. Some more pre-aims and things. Okay, so I haven't used my mouse in a week, to be honest. Okay, we know the trademarks. So there's a trademark you can put here. There's a trademark you can put here. Both are fine. They basically just add pressure to enemies coming onto site. Generally, I'm going to be placing the one in mid as well, just to defend mid. We want to place it as deep as possible. We're not while also covering the whole corridor like that. As you can see, my whole the radius is covering the whole corridor, but it's as deep as possible. It just means I have to swing a bit wider to actually see it, to actually shoot it. Which means I have to be committed like a step more or something. It's a bit minor, but still like important. You don't want to put it right on the edge so they can wallbang it like this. You don't want to put it there, and so you want to place it as far as back as possible without actually letting them get through. Also, another rendezvous you can do is this one. I'll do it if I have a trap. So for a trap play, so if I have like a shotgun, what I'll do is I'll just sit here. I'll have a rendezvous. I'll either put it here or I'll put it here. And basically I'll sit here, and when my trap goes off, I just go in the corner with a shotgun. That works really well. Generally, you can also combine it with like as coming to like an omen or a KO or something. Can you flash like main when my trap goes off? That type of stuff is really strong. So yeah. Next thing, we can go on to mid. So generally in mid, there's two rendezvous I'll do. I'll do one here if I'm going to op in this angle. No, not. I'm going to have this rendezvous. You can also do one. Sorry. You can also do one over here. Okay, not quite that far. There. And you can do it like this. Bear in mind, you are going to be like really close to being exposed to the right side, so you want to be careful no one's like super close to you with that rendezvous. There's also this rendezvous where you go on the outside at the start of the barrier. Oh, sorry, when the barrier drops, you can go here. You can also apply an off angle on this planter as well. So this off angle is pretty good because the enemy team, so the people on short, most of the time they're not going to be doing this. And like the second person will, but the first person won't. Right, the first person is going to be looking around here and checking this stuff. And so they're going to be a free kill. The second person might be watching this. I know that when I'm like second or third, I watch this until my first person contacts. So You might not get kills with it very easily. You also have to bear in mind as well, this does not work versus Omen very much. As Omen smokes tend to be big enough to cover this angle. Well, like Astra smokes and things like that don't really do that. Walls as well don't do that as well. So Harbor and Viper don't do it. I guess Phoenix as well don't really cover. Cascade does from Harbor, but the actual like walls high tide doesn't. Then we move on. I already showed the mid trap. Show it again. There you go. The mid trap. Don't tend to do it when I'm actually playing mid though, unless I want layering, which is very possible in mid to have. So what layering is, let me just explain it, is essentially, this is like my second layer, right? So what happens is, I'm going to play my first layer now. So I'm going to be playing the first layer, so I'm going to take the first contact basically. So I'm going to shoot someone that's going to push me, I go back. Then my first layer becomes the trap, and I'm then the second layer, and I can play off my second layer if I want to. Which means that when this trap goes, I can also like use it to my advantage, or I can just use it as a way that it's no second layer of near my first layer of security. It's going to take the contact, so I don't need to worry about the contact in mid now because my trap has it. That's what layering kind of is for me. There's probably other better names they may have heard it being referred as, but that's what I refer to it as. Layering, very very important for an agent like Chamber. As he basically directly interacts with layering with his trap and his rendezvous. Most other agents have to do a specific plays to do that. When Chamber seems it's quite normal for Chambers to accidentally do that sort of tactic. So let's go on short. So on short, I won't tend to do this trap. Once again, it's the same premise as the main one, where you're probably gonna have a shotgun or something, and you can use a trap to play off it. You don't have to do it with a shotgun either. You can do it with a Phantom. I wouldn't recommend doing it with a Vandal, but you can do it with a Phantom if you want to. Generally, Chambers you're going to be playing Vandal quite a lot, so maybe not the best of the plays. The reason why I don't do it a lot, I think, is because I play a lot of Vandal. You can also do the trap here, which is fine. Stops people from picking up onto short without you knowing. The rendezvous for short is here for me. It allows me to like push it mid if I want to. You can even sit like in this angle, or you can even sit down like this. You can wait for people to like drop from top mid or something. If they're like full A or something, and you can like walk here mid. Or if they like are like full B, and then they're gonna come tiles, you can sit in this angle, and a lot of people won't check it. Especially this like angle up here. No one's gonna check this coming out of tiles. So if you actually manage to get into this like sneaky position, it's very unlikely because a lot of people will start tiles when they go B. But if they end up going like 5-man and then going back, which is honestly happens too much in ranked, you might end up getting kills off it. And that's kind of it for short, really. You can also do a rendezvous up here, play in short like this. Obviously, it's like really close, so we're gonna be careful. Probably this corner is a bit safer. And you can also go a bit further out too. You can actually peek this at the same time as well. Really safe TP. And then we go on to main or A main. So in A main, once again, same premise as the B as B. These traps are really strong because it pressures them when they come out. So they're going to get slowed when they come out, or they have to shoot it, which means that they're either diverting their aim to the trap for this, or they are getting slowed, and then they're like more of a sitting duck. They can't use the movement as proficiently. You can also do like TPs onto this, and you can TP here at the start of the round. Unfortunately, there's not like anywhere good you can put the TP. So well, the best play really is to like ask for a boost, and you go on here with a boost. That's probably the best way to do it, because then you can TP quite fairly safely here. Not exactly safe, but not too bad. Otherwise, if you like, because if you do it like this, there's nowhere to place the TP, so it's like, where do I go? You can also go, you can do it on this as well. This one's probably the safer one, because you can place it behind ice. Where's it gone? Hello. Oh wait, I actually placed it through the box there. Wait, I just didn't know I could place it through the box there. I thought I had to jump. I was wondering where it was. Basically, this is really good because it's an off angle. Sorry, it's an off angle, and you're in TP radius, so you can just shoot them and go away, and then hopefully your teammate doesn't like smoke you off when you're wanting to do that. You have to come with them. You can also do it on Gen as well, but Gen is probably checked a bit more than on top of this box. And that's pretty much it. You can also do one up here as well. Pretty much it for A though. You can do it up here. I think I'm not sure if you can get it now. You can put it behind dice if you want to. Right, that's actually pretty cool. Actually, I just realised. You put it behind dice, and then you can TP behind dice after getting the kill, and then you're still on site. And I mean, it's probably not actually that good, but it's like an interesting like mix-up you can do, I guess. Otherwise, you probably just put it here, right? But you might get spammed, the thing, if they know you're there. Off that. And that's it for defense. I will see you on attack. Okay, so on attack, we'll start off with A. There's a pre-aim lineup you have. So in this corner, you can aim at the top of this leg here, and then all you have to do is just keep your mate exactly where it was. Hold down A. We're going left wherever the left is for you, and then it should line up quite nicely. I wouldn't rely on it too much, but yeah, it can help you a bit if you want to pre-aim that angle every time. It's not exactly it's not the best one. You might have to look around for like the best one. I can't quite remember what the best one is. Been a week. I have to get back into the groove of things really. And then if you want to have a rendezvous set up, initially you can put one here, but generally I just let my teammates take this space and I don't really bother placing my rendezvous here. And I wait to place it here, and then this gives me a couple of options, right? First of all, if you hug the wall, the only time you're ever going to not be able to TP is on these corners. So on this corner and on this corner, you can't TP. Every single other time, you can TP. But it's pretty strong, right? You can TP basically all the times you need to TP. And also, you can also make a play through the door. So you can shut the door. And then you can walk through here. You can actually TP away as well if you actually take a fight on short, or if you take a fight, on tree. You can always TP back. Be strong rendezvous. The same is also possible on the other side. There's obviously way less space to take. You can do it over here, and just like hold Evan from here. Not many people check that spot. They usually check like dice, and look, the clearance is sort of like this. They don't really aim there in this corner, so really strong to have like this tiny little off angle here. When it comes to the trap that I usually place is going to be this one, but it's not always like the best choice for attack. There are plenty of ones you can do. So for instance, if you're going to make this tree play, this one's probably fine. If you're going to make this play, it might be a bit worse because there's going to be timings where this trap goes down. So you might want to place one a bit closer, like this. Is also completely fine. What this trap does, the further away you place it, so say if I place it here, right, what does it give me? If you just take into account that they can't shoot it, right, they have to trigger it. If you take that into account, right, then what this trap does is it means that we have time, we have a lot of time to react to the fact that our trap has been triggered. But the problem is with that as well is that they have a lot of time to then rotate. They're closer to their rotations. So what I mean by that is if someone triggers it here, they can still rotate to short. And then we're like baited by my own trap because my trap's triggered and we're thinking one flank, and then the one flank is walking short, right? And we won't be able to capitalize off it. So this one doesn't really have that danger. The only danger it has is potentially if someone knows the trap is there, then it can get wall banged and then they can go short. That's basically it. Otherwise, this one won't be a problem. And placing it closer and closer, right, you get less map control, but it stops them from faking the flank, right? So if you've got one here, they can't fake the flank here because when it triggers or if they shoot it, there's basically, this takes so long for them to rotate all the way around that they probably won't rotate. Because especially because if it's post-plant situation, they're not going to want to waste the time rotating around for the value it's going to give them. They're just going to try and take the fights on flank. So this one strikes a nice balance for me, I would say, where it doesn't really allow them to go back, and you know we still have enough map control where we're not like completely surprised by getting like by the flank, right? So I think it's pretty good anti-flank trip. And then we're going to go to B, and then I'll talk a bit about like some of the map control traps you can do. Okay, so on B, I'm going to talk about the rendezvous first. So the initial rendezvous that everyone knows is the one where you can go out with it, and you can go lane, take first fight on lane and TB away, and that's pretty simple. There's also one you can do up here, which is an interesting one, where if you have time, you can like walk all the way around up here, and you can actually take fights in here. You may even be able to get in here if the rotations are slow, or if you have like say if they've rotated away and then you've managed to take this space, then you can take this space, sit and mark it, and you have like all this like line, this massive line to get a first kill on, TP away. It can be a really strong TP, but you need to find the right timing for it because it's not a very easy one to get. And that's kind of it for the rendezvous on attacking B. Obviously there are going to be ones on post plant, which I'll show now. And then we'll go on post plant on A, and then I'll talk about some map control stuff. So actually, let's talk about the anti-flank trip first on B, which is going to be either this one, or it's going to be this one. Both are completely fine. This one just gives you less warning about the flank. This one has a higher chance of people like rotating away, but obviously like it's not too bad. Like they still have to run around all the way around. Probably not actually worth it for them. So I would recommend like one a bit here, which is about equal with this third window here. Which basically always guarantees you're going to get someone that has to like flank. Obviously down here, like they can see it, but I mean, there's no way that they're going to go all the way around here, or they're going to go like this maybe. It's very unlikely. They'll probably just go main. So it's pretty good. Pretty good trap. And then we go on to post plan B. So post plan B, I generally won't have my trap up, so I'm not going to talk about trap. I might talk about a tiny bit of trap actually, but generally I'm going to use this rendezvous and this rendezvous. I can sit on this off angle here. And this off angle, I don't think I did go over on defense. I can't remember now. But basically, this off angle is pretty good because if they go stairs, it's a really strong off angle. If they go lane, it's a bit weaker. But generally, you can always TP back. It is kind of bad because it's like a 50-50 angle. But you know, you have footsteps, you have comms. Potentially, it's really strong. It's not very strong in like 1v1s and things. You probably, if you want to do 1v1s, you want this rendezvous. Probably want to sit in like this sort of angle, or like probably this angle. And once again, it's another 50-50, but it's a much better angle for lane, and it's not a terrible angle for stairs either. So you know, it's not crazy. This one's a bit crazier because you know, not a great angle, and you just kind of want the element of surprise in that angle, and then you always have the TP away. And that's it for B retake. A retake, and then I'll talk about map control and mids. So on A retake. Generally I'm going to be playing in main, so I'm going to have my rendezvous set up main, and generally this is going to get smoked by my enemies. So what I'll do is I'll sit in the smoke and I'll wait for my teammates to take contact on someone on site or on heaven or something, and I'll just swing and take my shot and TP away. And that's a possibility. Also sometimes I might be playing under heaven, but I won't really be playing like properly under heaven. I'll try and place my rendezvous and try and take like an off angle, or try and take a fight first and then TP away. A little bit TPing, like using rendezvous to your advantage on chamber. And generally I'm going to be playing offsite, especially if I've got something like my ult. I'm going to be playing offsite on main, because it's better angles. It also allows me to be like in close proximity to potential like punishing the flanker from my trip. And that's it for a post plant on A and B. We go mid. So on mid, I don't really play too crazily on mid. It's like pretty much just standard. I'm gonna hold this with a rendezvous here. I might just cross as well and hold this, and this is also a possibility. If I go through tiles, there are some other like cool ones you can do. You can do things like this, and you can have like an off angle. You can fight short, and then you can slowly get to this sort of angle up here. You can play this type of angle. It can be really strong if you actually get to there, but it also is like obviously risky to try and get there. But you do have a TP away, so if you do see a fight that it's not favorable, you can TP away. You're on TP radius the whole time. And then I'll talk about traps. So if I'm lurking A, if I'm looking on this side of the map, my teammates are going to be, then what I'll do is I'll place a trap like here, or I'll place it here. This one you can do at the start of the round, this one you can't. You have to be like, the barriers have to be dropped to place that one. The barriers don't have to be dropped to place this one, so generally it's going to be this one. And what I'll do is I'll just play mid. And the reason why this is good is because this trap will protect me from A. I'm going to protect my teammates from mid, and then my teammates have, you know, four people B, and they can go B, and I can like cut off rotations. I can play super deep, so if anyone tries to do a fast rotation market, I can cut them off, things like that. They have to like smoke their own mid essentially to actually take this rotation safely, which a lot of people won't be aware of. Especially if it's not the controller making that rotation, if it's someone else making that rotation from here to here, then the enemy smoke, like the enemy controller might not have a clue, and they get their teammate killed because they didn't smoke mid early. And obviously, like, you know, they have to have the read on the lurk and things like that. But if I'm going B, then what's going to happen is then my teammate's going to go A, and then I'm going to be playing mid, and I'm going to be playing with like either this trip or this trip.
That's a good spot.
So once again, this one has barriers have to be dropped. This one doesn't. So generally I'm going to be placing this one most of the time. Sometimes I'll be placing this one if I want to be playing really slow at the start of the round. Then that's how that will go. Then it's the same TP as I just showed in mid to take fight tiles and potentially get in an off angle in mid. And as my teammates are walking up A. You can also save your rendezvous. If you feel like it's going to be safe, or if you've got a teammate that smoked this, or if you know they don't contest short, something like that, then you can actually save it, and you can go... Actually, let me just see the radius. Mistake. Yeah, so you can't really do what I thought I wanted to do, which means I've probably placed it on the wrong side. You can place it on this, like a B trip. No, you can't, you need to go this way. There you go. And this will give me like a bit more radius to play with, where I can place my rendezvous down here or something. Try and pressure on A short. At the same time as having my trademark up. Sometimes you don't need the trademark up, so if everyone's accounted for in the map, so say if you only know that one person is B, and you know that they barely ever go through main, that every single time they've gone through CT, so like a deep read into the game, right? Every single round they've decided to go through CT, so no one's flanked. You can take this back up, and it might recharge at a really critical moment where you need to like clear a space or something. Also, I will quickly briefly say, off saying that as well, if you have another if you have another sentinel like Killjoy or Cypher, then saving your trademark for clearing space, like for instance like this, is actually really strong. Because it can kind of act like a drone almost, where you can place it like in a position, and obviously if they shoot it, then they're probably in the radius of that thing. Or you know, if they just shoot it, you'll hear where the shots are coming from. And if they don't shoot it and someone's in the radius, it triggers on them and they get slowed, and you know where they are, right? So it's also really strong as well if you have like a Cypher or a Killjoy to save your trap, and use it in like situations where you want to clear some space. I'm sorry this was a bit of a weird guide, because this is the first guide I'm making coming back from like a week of not making any guides or anything. So I feel a bit weird at the moment, basically. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just out to practice. So yeah, I'll see you in my next one, and I hope you enjoyed. I even did that the wrong way around. Oh my god. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.